be breaking down this UFC Fight Night 162 co-main event. Stevie Ray and Michael Johnson. Great fight. Everybody need to tune into this one. Another great fight this weekend. Feel like it's gonna be kind of underrated. Um, Michael Johnson can crack, man. I think people forget Michael Johnson can really crack. And Michael Johnson, to me, you got guys like Michael Johnson, Nate, a lot of other guys I could name. They're the reason why newer fans and just even older fans should understand that W to L, that win and loss, like the numbers, and it doesn't mean that much. Like, how many fights have you been in? You got a lot of guys, like Cowboys fought, 40 UFC fights? Only fought for the belt once and lost? Like, that wins and L's only mean so much. Not to disrespect Cowboy. But Michael Johnson's like 19 or 20 and 10 or something crazy like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? 19 and 10 or something wild. But every L you saw Michael Johnson take, especially over the past few years, he been in the fight. I mean, you got the Khabib fight. Does no one remember? Like, okay, Michael Johnson did get beat to death and talked to on the ground. It was bad. But do you remember in the first round when Michael Johnson touched Khabib? He rocked Khabib. He was the first guy to touch him like that and like have him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had him on wobbly legs. So it's like, let's remember that Justin Gaethje fight. Yeah, he got broke down, and in the end it looked bad, but he hurt Justin Gaethje twice. That was a back and forth war. Like, he was in war. The Darren Elkins fight, he get choked out. It looks bad in the end, but in the first round he was touching Darren Elkins up. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the Josh Emmett fight where he got knocked out. Oh, look at the KO, look at the highlight. He beat Josh Emmett tail the whole fight. I think that was the last round, and he ended up getting knocked out. I think he had like maybe two minutes to go or something like that. Like, don't disrespect this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I like that he's moving back up to 55. I mean, this is really good for him. I feel like there's a lot of killers up there too, but I like Michael Johnson at 55. I like his power at 55. So, and he was having a hard time making the 45. He missed weight once. He came in like 147. So it's like, I like him at 55. Good matchup for him. He's been on the shelf. He's been sitting for like 7-8 months. So it's like, this is a good I think it's a good fight for him to come back to with Stevie Ray. Only because Stevie Ray's had like 10, I think it's his 10th or 11th UFC fight. You know, he's only 29 years old. Like, I thought, you see this guy's name all the time on the undercard, on the bottom of the main card. Like, I'm glad he's getting a co-main event spot too. It's gonna be good for him, especially if he wins. I think it'll push him up the rankings, and he'll be able to fight some of the better fighters on the roster. Yeah, 29 years old. You know, I like him. I feel like he got beat by Joe Lozon. They gave him like a majority decision or something like that. There's a few close fights he's been in where I didn't think he was really the winner, but all respect to him. I mean, he does his thing. He steps in there and he fights guys. And after he took a few L's in a row, I think he talked about retirement, that he didn't retire. He came back, got a finish. He did what he's supposed to do. I feel like both these guys are easily hit, though. I feel like that plays to Michael Johnson, but it also plays to Stevie Ray. Michael Johnson can be touched on the feet. Like, offensively on the feet, he's great, but he can be touched. Stevie Ray, same thing. You've seen Stevie Ray get slept a few times. And it's because he's so easily touched sometimes. And then I fear, my fear for him is like, what are you gonna show Michael Johnson that he hasn't already seen? And then, you know, Michael Johnson's been around for a long time, and he's been in a lot of wars. So it's like, what are you gonna show him that he hasn't seen? I honestly would say look for this fight to be a war. I mean, I think that I don't know if Michael Johnson's gonna shoot or anything like that. I don't think he will. I think he'll stand in front of him, and especially if Michael Johnson tags him early, I think he'll stand right in front of Stevie Ray, because his head doesn't move. So I mean, I say look to see a good showcase from Michael Johnson, or let's see Michael Johnson get tagged out there. Like I said, he's easily hit as well, but I'm leaning more towards Michael Johnson getting the finish, especially if he's loose. Man, when he is loose on his feet, man, he can crack. When he loose on his feet, like the Khabib fight sucked for him because he was real loose on his feet, cracked him, and then he started to get taken down. After the first round, you saw him on his coach like this, breathing, because he had just had a bear on him. So I think if you look at his losses, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, he just gets beat, he just finished. But no. This dude can crack. So yeah, co-main event this weekend: Michael Johnson versus Stevie Braveheart Ray.